Well, it started out in Bushnell, Illinois. That's where I grew up. Bushnell, Illinois. Young kid going to the drive-in and having hamburgers and malted milk and root beer and French fries and just listening to rock and roll music. Everybody said to me, "Hey Mo, I'm gonna play you a little song. You do that little dance like Elvis," and I'd do my little dance like Elvis, and they'd buy me a root beer or give me some French fries. And that's the way I lived growing up as a kid. Going to the Toot and Tell 'em, it was called, drive-in. Well, later on in life, of course, I got to where I'd spend more time in the woods than I did at Toot and Tell 'em and at the drive-in. I love just walking through the woods and seeing the trees. And you know what? I felt close to the trees in the woods, and I'd take the train everywhere. I took the train. There was Galesburg, Illinois, which wasn't very far away. I'd take the train to Galesburg. I'd take the train to Chicago. When I got in the military, I'd take the train all the way to California and back. In those days, everything was trails and rails. So it was just everywhere I went, it was buses and railroads. And then I got back to the woods. Living in the woods, I'd always come back to spending time in the forests and the parks and walking. I always wanted to be a weeping willow tree. People said, "Well, what do you want to do?" So my dad now, he grew up listening to the Carter family on WJJD radio. And he was listening to the Carter family, and they'll be saying, "My weeping willow," was singing about "bury me out by the weeping willow." And I always wanted to be a weeping willow tree. And there I was in California thinking about, well, what am I going to do next? Well, what did I do next? After the war, couldn't do much, couldn't talk much, couldn't do much. So I went out and lived in the woods. Lived in the woods with the trees, and lived in the woods and walked through the woods and had a really good time in life. And ever since then, I've been close. I kind of missed going out in the tent at night and laying in the tent and just listening to the wind at night and putting me to sleep. But these days, I got to do the best I can with what I got. And what I got is living here in Connecticut and going out to the woods behind the house, seeing how the deer move, seeing that coyote, that one lone coyote, chase around after the rabbits. And, hey, be close to the trees.